How's it going, everyone? Welcome to this video, and in this video we're going to have a 100 points kill team battle report between the Drukhari and the Orks. This ought to be a very fun game because my friend Tony brought his Orks, and we're really looking forward to any comments or questions about the battle report. That's going to help us make better battle reports in the future. We really took into consideration the comments you left in the previous video, and that's only going to help us make better battle reports in the future. So without further ado, let's go check out the armies. Okay, so these are my 100 points of Drukhari kill team. I have 6 witches and 4 cavalites. For my leader specialist, I have my Sybarite with an agonizer, a blast pistol, and phantasm grenade launchers. This one allows you to have an extra command point each turn because she's the leader. And then on the right side I have a heavy specialist, which will allow me to not get a penalty when he advances with the assault weapon, which is a shredder. He's a gunner with a shredder. On the left side I have another gunner. This one has a dark lance and he is a sniper specialist, which gives him a reroll on ones to hit rolls with his weapon. On the back I have just one regular cavalite warrior to fill in points. In my witch side I have a combat specialist, which is the Hecatrix, with a blast pistol and an agonizer, and I think that's it. To the left I have a fighter with a sharpnet and impaler. She's a regular fighter. Then I have a razor flail fighter, which is a zealot specialist. This will allow her to have an extra attack and an extra strength on the turn that she charges. Also, the combat specialist gives you +1 attack whenever you attack. And I have 3 regular witches on the backside. That in all amounts to 100 points, and I'm going to take this opportunity to roll on the combat drugs for the witches. As well as in the Drukhari Codex, they all have power from pain, but the witches have combat drugs. So I'm going to roll that, and I got a 4. The number 4 means that all of my witches have a +1 toughness, making them toughness 4, which is a good thing, I think. I would have preferred to have +1 attack or +1 strength, but that's it. That's my 100 points of Drukhari kill team. For the Orc side, we have commandos, we have shooter boys, and we have 1 burner boy. We have a burner boy spanner with a rocket launcher. This one's going to be the leader, which gives an extra command point per turn. On the left, we have a mob of 6 shooter boys. The knob has a flamer, and he's going to be a scout specialist. To the right, we have 1 gunner with a heavy shooter, and this one is a heavy specialist. And on the left side we have 4 commandos. The knob has a power claw, and this one's going to be a combat specialist, which gives him a +1 attack. The special rules for Orcs, pretty much everyone has Here We Go, which means they reroll charges when they fail. And also the commandos, which is this group of 4, they have Sneaky Gits, which gives an extra -1 to shooting attacks whenever they target them and they're obscured. So I will be hitting with a -2 modifier if they are in cover. And that's 99 points of Orc kill team. So this is the battlefield we set for this game. This is going to be a feint mission. This is a narrative play mission. And we're going to set up an attacking side, which is going to be this side on the right. And we're going to set up a defender side on the left. I know this is not this terrain that is suggested in the sheet, but we changed it up a little bit. I only added some barrels in the middle as a cover points if you want to use them, but the terrain is still the same. It's just arranged in a different way. So we're going to need to roll off to decide which one of us is going to be the defender and the attacker. I'm going to roll 2 dice, and my opponent is going to roll 2 dice as well. So we both get 8. Reroll. I got Okay, I'm going to decide. I think I'm going to defend. And before we deploy, we need to do the scouting phase. In the scouting phase, we get to choose one of these abilities for our teams. There's 6 of them. They're different. Some of them allow you to scout, to deploy after your opponent, to plant traps, and to move before the battle begins. And they have counters if you want to choose them. I'm not going to explain every single one. I'm just going to explain the one we choose, and we have to secretly pick one of them, each one of us, and resolve them before the battle starts. This is going to give certain advantages to some of us, or maybe nothing happens. So let's see what happens. Alright, so we're about to choose. 1, 2, 3. I got a 6, you got the 2. 2 is planting traps. Tony is going to be planting traps on the terrain pieces. And I was going to shoot at his models if he chose number 5, which is take forward position. But because he didn't choose that one, I don't get to counter him. How many traps you're going to set this turn? this game? And you're going to set 3. So I'm screwed. So what Tony did, he chose plant traps, which means he gets to plant D3 traps on his on wherever he wants in the terrain, but they're secret. He's going to write them down and let me know whenever I sprung one of his traps. These traps cause a mortal wound if on a roll of a 1 whenever I approach these terrain features on a roll of a 1, and whenever I leave the area as well. If I don't move and I'm inside the trap, it doesn't cause any more wounds. What I chose was eliminate sentries, which was going to be shooting at his models if he chose to advance with take forward positions, but because he didn't, then I don't get to do anything. So this is the battlefield after the objectives are placed. We have 3 objectives each. We set up 6 of them, and this game we're going to fight off. He's going to try to destroy the objectives, and I'm going to try to defend them, and I'm going to be on the left side and he's going to be on the right side. The victory conditions are that at the end of the battle, the defender scores 2 victory points for each objective marker that is still on the battlefield. The attacker scores 1 victory point for each objective marker they have destroyed. In addition, the attacker scores 1 victory point if the enemy kills team is broken, and 1 victory point for each enemy specialist that is out of action at the end of the battle. The player with the most victory points is the winner. If the players have the same number of victory points, the defender wins. We also have 2 tactics, one for the attacker, one for the defender. For the attacker, we have at the end of the battle round, you can choose to destroy one of the objectives using 1 command point. And for the defender, you get a +1 to the nerve test made in this phase for 1 command point. Okay, so we're going to roll off to see who deploys first. I get a 5, he gets a 7, so he starts. So we're going to roll to see who goes first. And I get a 12, so I'm going to pick to go first. For my first action, I'm going to decide to run my Sharpnet Witch Fighter. She's going to move up to 13 inches. She has a movement of 7, I believe. So that's plenty to go all the way up here. As it turns out, just moving from here to here, this witch triggered a trap, which was this wall right here. My opponent wrote down the number of ruins. It was up to 3 traps. He wrote down the ruins, and it turns out this one is one of the traps. And he needs to roll a dice. In a roll of a 1, I take a mortal wound. Go. It's a 2, which means I'm fine. This cavalier here is going to just move into cover. This witch down here, she's a regular witch. She's going to just move 7 inches up to this pillar right here, just hugging it for cover. The other witch is going to do the same. She's going to move up to the other pillar. This witch is going to run and it's
going to advance. I mean, it's just one more inch, so she moves 8 inches. This is 3 up, 1 forward, 3 down, and 1 to the side. This witch, jumping up the wall, she triggered one of the booby traps, which is this wall right here. My opponent needs to roll a d6 on a 1. I take a mortal wound, and it's a 5, so I'm fine. So witches move up to 8 inches, not 7. So I'm going to move an extra inch just to hug that wall. I'm going to advance my zealot. I need to roll a die. This plus 8 movement, I get a 6, which is a 14. She ends up all the way back here behind this ruin, but because she moved away from the trap, she's going to spring it. He gets a 1, which means I get a mortal wound. I don't get any saves, so I need to do a 3 or less. Oh, I get a 6, which means I'm dead, but I'm going to try and reroll that using one of my command points. And I'm fine. My combat specialist is going to move up to the wall and just hug this wall and get behind the pillar. My sniper is going to ready, so he gets to shoot first in the shooting phase. This dude is going to stay still and is going to wait for another turn. He's going to take aim, even though it's not going to help him at anything. For the Orc first move, this guy right here is going to advance up to 9 inches.
Around here.
This commander right here is going to advance as well. You roll a 3. He moves up to 9 inches. All the way there. All of the boys behind this wall are going to advance. They need a 7 just to get outside of the ruin. They need 3 to go up, 1 to go to the front, and 1 to go down. No, 3 to go down, and then whatever is extra, it's just extra movement. So he's going to start with the first one.
With this one?
He gets a 2, which is a 7, no, an 8. The next shooter is going to also advance. He gets a 3, which is an 8. So he gets to move 7 and just 1 inch further. The next commando is going to also advance. And he rolls a 3, which makes it a 9. So it's 3 inches more than outside of the ruin.
Jeez.
The heavy specialist is going to ready, and the other guy here
And this shooter is going to be ready.
is going to ready as well. This flamer scout is going to use one of his command points to give it extra 2 inches movement, and he's going to advance as well. So he gets a 5 plus 2, that's 7, plus a 1, that's an 8.
I can reroll one.
Oh, he can reroll it because he is a scout. And he gets a 4, which makes it a 11. He ends his movement right there. The commando fighter specialist is going to advance. It's just 1 inch, which makes it a 7. He ends his movement right here. The next commando is also going to advance. He rolls a 1, which is a 7 as well. He ends his movement right behind the fighter. The leader with a rocket launcher is going to advance as well. He gets a 6, which is a total of 11 inches. He's going to end his movement right below here, just behind this window. So because I messed up, I aimed with this guy too far behind the edge, and I'm not able to see anyone on the battlefield, so I'm not able to shoot. So we're going to start with that shooter boy right here. This shooter boy with this big shooter is going to shoot at that witch behind that pillar. Because she is out of sight and he's at long range, he only hits on 6s. So he gets 3 shots. And he gets nothing. Next goes this dude with a shredder. He's out of range of everything, so he doesn't do anything. This shooter boy is going to shoot at this witch that has the sharpnet and impaler right here. And he gets to shoot twice. He needs to shoot on 6s. He needs to hit at 6s. And he has 1 hit. He wounds on a 3. I get to do a 6+ save for her and 6+ feel no pain. and she misses both. I get a +1 to my injury roll, so I get to save on a 4 or less. So I'm fine. I get a flesh wound. This witch here is going to shoot at that guy on the objective 5. She needs a 3 to hit. She's within 6 inches, so she's well within the range. She hits and she wounds on a 4+, and she misses. This guy here is going to shoot at the same witch behind. He needs a 6s because she's obscured.
And he assaulted.
And nothing. This cowlight right here is going to shoot at this boy right there. If he's within 12, he can rapid fire. Then I believe he is. I'm going to shoot twice. He gets 2 shots rapid fire because he is within 12. And I'm going to hit on 3s, just 1 hit. Wound on 4s, I wound, and he gets to save. 6+ t-shirt save. He doesn't get it, and he rolls on the injury roll. And he's dead, unless you want to re-roll that. But then you don't get to take an objective this turn if you do that, because you already spent one, remember? So Tony at the end decided he wanted to re-roll that injury to see if he survives. And he survives with a flesh wound. Next, the leader is going to use his rocket launcher to shoot at this witch behind the pillar. He needs 6s to hit, and he doesn't get it. At this point, my Drukhari are out of shooting models because most of them either advanced or are in very heavy cover. So we're going to move on to more orc shooting. Okay, these 2 shooter boys are going to rapid fire at the witch behind this wall right here. So they get 4 on 6s. The first one misses, second one misses as well. The knob is going to shoot his combi shooter at the witch behind this pillar. He needs 6s, and he misses. So at the end of this turn, we need to take nerve tests or leadership tests for the witches that have a flesh wound. Starting with this one, but she has leadership 7, and she doesn't have any negatives because nobody is out of action or shaken. So they automatically pass. Even when rolling a 6, they're going to be fine. The wounded orcs also passed the test because he has a leadership of 6, so he's fine. So this is the end of the first turn. Not much happened. Most of the orcs moved forward. This is pretty scary if I don't get the initiative next turn. Most of them moved. They caused 1 flesh wound to that witch right there. These guys didn't move much and couldn't shoot at all because of my fault. This witch is right here. The other specialist is behind this wall, and my zealot is behind here. So for the orcs, they advanced forward. The leader moved down right here. The commandos moved forward right here. All of the shooters and commandos moved right there like that. This guy advanced all the way up here. This guy stayed behind and shot. And that's it. Let's go to turn 2. Okay, starting turn 2, we roll for initiative. We roll 2 dice each. I get a 6 and I go first. Alright, so starting my second turn, I'm going to jump over the fence and go all the way up here and try to flame these guys. So I'm going to just declare an advance, and because he's a specialist and because he has an assault weapon, he can do that and still shoot. So he gets a 7 natural plus a d6, and I'm going to use a command point to use his tactic for scout that gives him an extra 2 inches. So I automatically just jump the fence, and I get this plus 2 inches more. Because he's a scout, he can reroll that 1. I was forgetting about that, so it's a 3, so it's 5 inches more. And because he moved out of the trapped terrain, he's going to possibly trigger it. So he rolls a 2 and he's fine. This witch is going to declare a charge to this shooter boy right here. The shooter boy is going to declare a overwatch. He needs to hit on 6s. He hits twice. Wounds on 3s. He gets 2 wounds. I get to save on a 6+. I get nothing, and then a 6+, power from pain. I save nothing again. I need to roll on the injury table with a +1 because I'm in cover. So I need a 4 or less. So I get a flesh wound. So luckily she didn't die. She needs a 6 to get to the shooter boy, and she survives. So she gets 2 dice. She needs a 6 with a reroll. She gets a 10. She's in. She's just going to move all the way to the back of him like that. This witch right here with the Shardnet and Impaler is going to try to multi-charge these 2 guys right here. She needs a 9 to get to them. This guy right here can't see her, but this one can. Both can react, so what are you gonna do? He decided to overwatch with both. He's gonna take the charge, and this guy can barely see one of her arms, but he's going to attempt to shoot at her, and he misses. So I need a 9 with rerolls, so because she has Power from Pain. And I get a... I'm going to reroll that. I need a 9. And I don't get it. That witch behind that pillar is going to attempt to charge at this guy behind the barrels. She needs a 10 to get within 1 inch of him. You're going to overwatch.
Yep.
You need a 6 with 1... Nope. So he doesn't get it. So I get to roll a 10 with a reroll. I don't get it. So I'm going to roll again. And I don't get it again. I'm going to choose to stay put. I'm not going to move up to my charge distance because I don't want to stay out there in the open. This witch is going to just advance her 8 inches and hug this cover. She triggers 1 of the booby traps, so we discovered all of them. He needs to roll a 1 to inflict a... Yes, so he does. I need to roll on injury table. Huh. And she gets a flesh wound. This Cavalite is just going to move into the ledge, hugging some cover and getting in line of sight of these guys. My leader is going to risk it and move 1 inch here, still getting a little bit of the cover from the ledge, from anything shooting from below. The sniper is going to move all the way down here at the end of this ledge. My fighter is going to move all the way up here. See if she can blast someone to pieces. My zealot is going to move her 8 inches, and she's going to just move this way. Moving into the Orks player's movement phase, he's going to move this commander right here. He's going to attempt a charge at this. He needs to roll a 4. And he gets it. This dude is going to attempt to make an advance, so he gets a +1. D6, so he moves up to 9 inches. He ends his move right there. The other shooter boy is also going to advance, so he rolls a D6. He gets a 4, which is 9 inches as well, ending his move right beside the other shooter boy. This commander is going to move his 6 inches up to there. This knob is going to declare an advance. He gets 5 more inches, so he moves up to how much? 10 inches, and ending up right there. This guy is also going to advance. He gets a 1, which is a total of 7 inches. These 2 guys are going to aim or ready, and also this guy, the leader, is going to stay put and aim as well. This boy right here is going to move all the way there. Entering the second turn's shooting phase, Tony decided to use decisive shot so that he can shoot with some other orc. First, he's going to declare this guy, and he's going to start the shooting phase shooting with him. The Scorcher is going to roll the number of attacks that he gets for this turn, and he gets 6 of them. He declared his shots to be 3 to my Hecatrix and 3 to this Cavalite warrior. He needs 3s to wound. First for the Hecatrix. He gets 2 wounds. I get to roll only Power from Pain because my Witch save is not enough. And I don't get anything. And then I get just 1 for the injury roll because she's reduced to 0. I have a +1 because she's behind cover. And I need 4 or less. So she gets a flesh wound. The other 3 shots to the Cavalite warrior, we're going to resolve them. He needs 3s to wound. So he gets 3 wounds. So my normal Cavalite armor save is 5+, -1 because IP is AP -1, so I get 6 saves. So I saved 1, and then I get Power from Pain, which is other 6 to ignore. I don't ignore them, so I am wounded. I roll on the injury table, which is he's still in cover because his feet are in cover from the flamer. So I'm going to need a 4+, less than a 4. I get a 5. I could re-roll that, and I'm going to do it because I don't want him to die. And he dies anyway. Look, the big shooter is going to shoot at the Hecatrix. He needs 6s. He gets just 1. He needs 3s to wound. And he wounds. I get a witch save of 6+, then feel no pain or power from pain. And I don't pass again, so I need to roll on the injury table again with a -1, but with a +1 because she is in cover. So it's 3 or less, and she's out of action as well, gaining Tony a +1 victory point. This shooter boy skips because he can't see anybody through the melee. The leader specialist is going to shoot at my Cavalite scout specialist. He needs a 6+ to hit, and he doesn't get it. So we double check just to make sure that he was indeed outside of the long range, so that he hits on 6s and not at 5s, and he is just barely out, so he misses. My scout specialist is his turn to shoot. I'm going to shoot at these two guys with a I get a number of dice equal of shots equal to my dice, so I get 3 shots with a -1 because I advanced, and another -1 because he's at long range, unfortunately. So I need 5s, and I get just 1. Because I didn't declare who the shots were going to be for, I should have declared how many for each one. I'm going to assume that I declare all of them to just 1, and because I only hit once, that's fine. I need a 3 to wound with rerolls because it's a shredder. He's wounded with a -1 AP. He doesn't get a save, so he gets to roll on the injury table.
I got an injury.
He already has a wound, so he gets a -1. So with a 2+, he survives. The injured shooter boy is going to shoot back at my specialist. He gets 2 shots with a -2 to hit. So he only hits on 6s anyway, so he's fine. He gets nothing. This witch here by the barrels is going to shoot at this guy right here. She is within 6 inches. So she needs a 4 to hit because she's wounded. So he needs a 4 to hit. She hits. She needs a 4 to wound. She doesn't wound, and that's it. The second boy is going to shoot at my specialist. He needs 6s to hit because he advanced. So he gets nothing. My Sybarite is going to shoot at this commando right here. She can see, but the commando gets a +1 cover because he is obscured. So she gets to hit on 6s because he's out of range, and also he gets a +2 because of he's obscured. So I need to roll a 6 and nothing. My sniper specialist is going to shoot at the leader down here. Hopefully he gets him. He needs a 4+ with rerolls of 1 to hit. So he gets a 3. And we're entering the combat phase for turn 2. Just now I remember that my witches had a +1 toughness, and I've been counting it as 3s. We're going to let it roll and continue this battle report. I'm going to start with this witch right here. She's going to split her attacks in between these two guys. She gets, she's going to attack twice to the boy in front of her and once to the boy in the back. To the boy in front of her, she needs force to hit. She hits once, then she wounds on a 5, and she wounds. You get a 6+ t-shirt save, and you miss. Then you need to roll on an injury table, and he's out of action. I still have one more attack for the other boy. I need a 4+ to hit because she's wounded. She hits. I need a 5+ to wound. She wounds. He gets a 6+ t-shirt save. He doesn't get it. He rolls in the injury table. And he is injured. He has a flesh wound. That orc is going to attack back. He gets 3 attacks, hitting on 4s because he's wounded. And he hits once. Wounding on 4s because I'm toughness 4. He doesn't wound. Alright, once the turn is over, we enter the morale phase. I need to make a morale save, leadership save for the team not to get broken because I have 4 flesh wounds and 2 dudes out of action. So it's negative, so it's a 6, so it's more than half of my units. I need to make a leadership of 8, that is the leadership of my Cyberite, or my leader. And I need 8 or less, and I'm fine. And I get a 9, which is horrible, and I can't reroll that, so my team is broken. So I'm going to make my nerf tests, which is a -1 for each model that is out of action, and +1 for any other friendly model that is not shaken within 2 inches. So my Cyberite has a leadership of 8, but because though 2 of my models are out of action, she has a 6, and +1 because she is within 2 inches of another character that is not shaken. She is fine. She would pass it on a 7. The rest of my models need a 5, except the snipers. The sniper passes because he needs a 6. He is between 1 inch and 2 inches of the leader, so he passes. This girl right here is going to need less than 5 or less, so he only fails on a 6. She's fine. Fails on a 6. He's fine. Fails on a 6. She's fine. This one right here fails on a 6. She's fine. The one behind her fails on a 6 as well, and she's fine. And the last one right there fails on a 6, and she's fine. So it wasn't as bad as I thought. For the orc boys, their morale can't be broken right now because they have most of their characters alive. They only lost 1 casualty, so only the orcs that have a flesh wound get to do a morale save, and they fail on a 6. This guy right here needs a 5 or less, and he passes. The last one is this one right here, 5 or less, and he passes. The morale broken gives my opponent an extra command point, letting the score at 2 to 0. I would get command points at the end of the battle if he doesn't destroy my objectives. So technically I would be at 12. So this is the end of turn 2. I think letting my troops on top of the building left them pretty much not to do anything. Most of my units, my scout specialist is still here in the open, and one of my witches is here, flesh wounded. My zealot is right here with a flesh wound as well. My sniper and leader are up top of this building, and I have 1 witch in combat and the other one behind that pillar right there, and the Sharnet and Impaler is behind those ruins right there. For the boys, he has his Burna Boy right here on the very front, 1 commando engaged in combat with a witch, another commando behind this barrel, 2 more commandos behind these barrels right here. The leader is still behind these ruins, and he has 2 more shootout boys behind these ruins down here, and that's it. We're going to move on to the start of turn 3. Okay, for turn 3 we're going to roll initiative again. I get a 7. You get a 7 as well. We have to reroll. We get the same again, 6s. I want to go first though. I got a 9, so I go first again. Starting with the movement phase for the Drukhari, I'm going to start moving my specialist. My scout specialist is going to move 7 inches down this way. It's going to move up to here, a little bit more, so that this guy doesn't get any cover saves. My zealot is going to charge that shootaboid right there. She needs a 6 to get in, so he gets to overwatch twice because he can see her face through the ruin, and he gets nothing. So I need a 6 with rerolls. and I didn't get it, so I need to re-roll that, and I get it with a 9. So I get to put her up to 9 inches away. This wounded witch right here is going to also declare a charge, but she's going to multi-charge both of them. She needs a 5 to get in. He's going to overwatch with his wounded dude that needs 6s to hit, and he doesn't get anything. So I said I needed a 5. With rerolls, I get it. I'm going to declare a charge again of 10 inches from there all the way here. I hope I get it this time. He's going to overwatch with just one shot from his slugger, and he misses. So I need a 10 in 2 dice with reroll, and I don't get it. I'm going to roll that again, and I don't get it. I double not get it. Because this witch moved from the trapped terrain, she gets to trigger the trap. So my opponent needs to roll a 1. Needs to roll 1, and he doesn't get anything. This witch here is going to attempt to charge at that boy right there. She needs a 5 to get in. There is no overwatch or no reactions at all. So she needs a 5 with rerolls. She gets a 7. She's in there. My sniper specialist is going to aim, and I think my witch leader is just going to jump down. She needs a 7 to get right here. She's going to just have this cover. This guy is going to make an advance, so he gets a 1d6 extra movement. He gets just 1, 6, so he can't jump over. So a 6 is not enough to jump the wall, so he decided just to move in here to get into a better position for shooting. This boy is just going to move into this wall right here. This boy is going to declare a charge against these 2 witches. He needs a 3, and he gets a 9. He can move as much as 9 inches. He's going to move on top of that objective. The knob is going to declare a charge as well against this witch right here. He needs a 2. He doesn't really need to roll, and he is in. This boss knob is also going to declare a charge. It is going to charge at these 2 witches right here. He needs a 5 to get in, and he gets it. And this commando is also going to declare a charge here. He needs a 4 with rerolls, and he gets in. The leader specialist of the orcs is going to aim so that he gets to shoot first in the shooting phase. And that's it for the movement phase. So I'm going to start the shooting phase with my readied sniper. I'm going to use 1 command point to give him a +1 to hit, and I'm going to shoot at his leader. Because he's in cover, I get a -1, but I get a +1 because of the ability. So I'm going to need a 3+ to hit, re-rolling once. Yeah, re-roll a 1. And I get a 2 and I miss. The orc leader specialist is going to shoot at the shredder specialist, the scout specialist. He needs a 5 to hit, and he hits. He needs a 2 to wound. Please roll a 1. Nope, he wounds. So I don't get a save. I have a feel no pain, but I have to pass it 3 times. So I'm just gonna roll 3 dice, and no way I'm gonna do 3 6s. And then I need to roll. In order to survive, I need to roll 3 or less on all 3 of these dice, so it's very unlikely, but I hope it happens, and it doesn't, so this guy is out of action. So that's it for the shooting. These 2 guys don't have anyone on site, so they're not going to shoot. We're going to move into the combat phase. I'm going to start the fight phase with my zealot that's right here. She's going to divide her 4 attacks against this one and this one here. She has 2 base plus 1 because of her weapon, plus another 1 because she's a zealot, and she charged. 2s on the first one. I need 4 to hit because she is wounded, but I have rerolls because it's razor flails. So she hits only once with a strength of 4 against toughness 4. I need a 4, and I wound. -1 AP. He doesn't get a save. You only roll on the injury table, and he is wounded, right? My other 2 attacks with the zealot are going to go against the knob. I need a force to hit, and I get 1 hit, but I get rerolls because she has razor flails. And she gets 2 hits with strength 4 and toughness 4 as well. I need force to wound. No rerolls this time. This guy, the command specialist for the Orc commandos, is going to attack my Zealot. He gets 3 attacks. He gets to fight on a 4+ because he's using a heavy weapon. And he only gets 1 hit. Wounds on a 2+. And he wounds. I have an imbalance save of a 4+ because I'm a witch. I get a dodge, so don't miss it. Yeah, so I pass it. Next, my Sharnet and Impaler witch is going to attack 3 times. 2 against the orc on the bottom here, and once against the wounded orc on the top. The first 2 attacks hit on force because she's wounded. And she hits once, and she gets a +1 strength. She needs a 4. And she doesn't wound. Her last attack is going to go against this boy right here. She needs to hit on a 4+ because she's wounded. She doesn't hit. The knob with a Scorcher is going to try to attack this witch right here. He needs 3s to hit. He gets 3 hit. He needs 3s to wound because toughness 4 and strength 5. He gets all of the wounds. Okay, my witch has a dodge save. She needs 4+ to save all of them. And she saves all of them because she's a badass like that. This witch right here is going to direct all of her attacks against all of the models around her. So she gets 1 attack for each. I'm going to start at the top with this shooter boy right there, and I need a 4+ to hit. For the next one, I need a 4+ to hit. I get a hit, and I need a 5 to wound. Because it's a strength 3, so he's wounded. He gets a save of 6+, and he gets it. Oh my god! The last attack against this commander right here, she needs to hit on a 4, and she hits. She needs to wound on a 5, and she doesn't wound. This boy right here is going to attack the Sharnet and Impaler. He's going to attack her 3 attacks against her. He needs 3s to hit. He hits with everything. He needs 4s to wound. He wounds with everything. I got a dodge save of 4+. Huh. And I only make 1. I need a 6+ power from pain, and I got just 1, so I'm still wounded. I need to roll on the injury table with a 3 or less. And I'm out of action. This boy that charged also is going to attack this witch right here. He gets 3 attacks that hit on 3s. And he hits with everything. He needs to wound on force. And he doesn't wound. So I only have 1 more witch to attack. She's going to split her attacks between these 2 guys. Is going to make 2 against this one and 1 against the other one. I'm going to attack the one on the left first with 2 attacks. She hits on force because she's wounded. And she gets nothing. Against the other one, she needs to hit on a 4, and she hits. She needs to wound on a 5. She misses, but I'm going to reroll that because I still have a command point. And she wounds, and he needs to make a t-shirt save, and he makes it. The commando boy here is going to attack my witchback with 3 attacks that hit on 3s. No, on force. Hit on force. He hits once. And he wounds on force, and he misses. This shooter boy is going to attack my witch. He gets a -1 for each flesh wound he has, so he has 2. He hits on 5s, and he hits once. He wounds on force. He wounds. I have a 4+ dodge, and I don't save. I have a 6+ of power from pain, and I don't get it. So I get a -1 because I am wounded to my injury table. So I need a 2 or less. And I save. I'm flesh wounded again. The last boy is going to attack this witch again. He needs to hit on force because he's wounded as well. And he doesn't hit. So we're entering the leadership phase for both of us. I'm going to start with the Drukhari. And I have 4 of my witches out of action, and I need to roll because I have a leadership of 7. -4 is 3, so I need to roll a 3 or less to save it. So I'm going to start with the sniper here. I need a 3 or less, and she's fine. I'm going to do my leader. I need a 3 or less. She's fine. This witch right here would need a 3, but because she is within 2 inches of another witch, she gets to do it on a 4 or less, and she's fine. This one right here would do it on a 4 or less as well, and she's fine. This one right here, she needs a 3 because she's alone, and she gets it. The last one back there, she needs to do a 3 or less, and she's fine. So everyone's fine. For the orcs, only the wounded guys get to do a nerve test. We're going to start with this guy right here. He needs a 5 or less, and he's fine. The knob, he needs a 5 or less, and he's fine. The last guy right there needs a 5 or less, and he's fine. Okay, at the end of turn 3, it's time for Tony to destroy my objectives. We're not sure if you can destroy more than 1 per turn, because you can only spend 1 command point per phase. We decided off camera that you can only destroy 1. We did a roll off, and that was the result. If that's wrong, please let us know, but we're going to do that and just destroy this one right here. And that's it for this turn 3. We're going to move on to turn 4. We're going to move into turn 4. We need to roll for initiative, and whoever gets more starts. I win the initiative again. I'm going to start declaring a charge with my leader specialist. He's going to charge these 3 boys. I don't know if I can get in close combat with all of those, but I'm just going to declare them because they can't react. They're in combat. I need a 4 to get to this guy right here. I need a 5 to get to that guy right there. So I'm just going to roll and see what I get. I get an 8. So I'm just going to move my witch over here, and she's going to be in combat with both of those guys. My other witch back there is going to declare a multi-charge as well. She's going to declare against this boy right here, the mega boss, and the boy behind him. I need a 5 to get to this boy. I need a 6 to get to both of them. So I'm going to roll 2 dice with rerolls. I get a 10, so that's plenty. I'm just gonna put her here. My sniper is going to ready. It's going to stay still and aim. With his leader specialist, he's going to advance. He's going to try to get to the objective 6. He gets plus d6 movement, and that's a 3, which is in total a total of 8. This shooter boy is going to advance. He's going to add the d6 of movement, which is a 2. He gets to move up to 7,
Which is enough.
just enough to jump the wall. The last shooter boy is going to do the same. He gets a d6 extra movement, which is a 4, giving him a total of 9, ending up in the other side of the wall as well. Moving on to the shooting phase, I start the shooting phase because I have the initiative and I aimed. I'm going to shoot at his leader specialists. I'm going to spend a command point to get a +1 to hit, and because I'm sitting still, I need a 3 to hit with rerolling once because he's a sniper. So I need a 3 plus, so I hit, and I need a 2 plus to wound. He wounds. Okay, so the orc doesn't get an armor save because this is a -4 weapon, which finally hit. I'm going to do a d6 damage, which is a 1, but I'm going to reroll that because I want to make sure that that guy is dead using burning the last of my command points. And I get 4. So because I did 4 damage, Tony's gonna need to roll 4 dice, and we're going to keep the highest of them and see if he's out of action. And he gets 6, 5, 6, and he should be out of action. Because it's my initiative, I get to shoot another time with a regular witch that hasn't that didn't aim the last turn. So I'm going to shoot my leader's blast pistol into this guy right here. She needs 3 to hit. She hits. She needs a 2 to wound. She wounds. He doesn't get a save. She does 1d6 damage because it's a dark light weapon. And she does 4 damage. You need to roll 4 dice and get less than a 3 on all of them. And he's dead. The commando is going to shoot at the witch. He has a -1. He hits only on a 6. And he misses. I'm going to shoot with this same witch at the commando that's in front of her. I need a 4+ to hit because she's wounded. She hits a 4+ to wound because it's a venom, because it's poison weapon and it doesn't wound. The other commando is going to shoot at the witch as well. He needs a 6 to hit. Oh, 5, right? 5. So he hits 4 to wound. He doesn't wound. My last witch is going to attack this guy right here. They're both in close combat, and I get to choose which one I'm going to shoot. So I'm going to shoot at that one. I need a 5 to hit because she's wounded twice, and she misses. The last commando is going to shoot at the witch. He needs a 5, and he misses. Because I have the initiative, I'm going to start with my Sybarite. She's going to attack first at this boy right here because it's the only one that's left. My Sybarite needs a 3 to hit, which is I get a 5, which hits. Because she has an agonizer, she wounds on a 4+. Because it's a poison weapon, I miss. This other witch also assaulted in the movement phase, so he gets to attack first as well. She's going to make 2 attacks against the knob and 1 attack against the boy. I'm going to start with the boy. She's not wounded or anything, so she hits on a 3+, and she hits. She needs a 5+ to wound, and she doesn't wound. Against the knob, she needs 3+ to hit. She misses twice. My Zealot is going to attack 3 times at this boy because that's the only option she has. She needs 4 to hit with rerolls because she has razor flails. So she hits with all of them. She needs 5s and she gets nothing. The boss knob is going to attack at the witch besides him. He gets 4 attacks that hit on 3s, and he hits 3 times. He needs 3s to wound. Because strength 5, he gets 2 wounds. I get a 4+ dodge save with no rerolls. I don't save any of them. I get power from pain. I need 6+, and I get nothing. And I need to roll on the injury table just once, 3 or less. She's fine. She just get a flesh wound. I'm going to attack with this witch again. I'm going to attack 2 attacks to this one and 1 attack to the other one. I'm going to start with the one on the left. I need a 4 to hit because she's wounded, just 1 hit. 5 to wound, and I get a wound. He gets to do a t-shirt save, 6+. He doesn't save it, and he rolls on the injury table, and he's fine. He just gets a flesh wound. Against the other one, I get 1 attack that hits on 4s, wounds on 5s. I wound, so he needs to make a t-shirt save. He doesn't save. He has a -1 to the injury roll. 2 or 1, yeah, right. And he's fine. This commando on the top is going to attack my witch below him. He gets 3 attacks that hit on 3s, no 4s, because he's wounded, and he doesn't hit. My witch is going to attack all 3 of them, trying to be a badass and kill them all. Probably won't happen. I'm going to start with the one on the top. I need a 5 to hit, and she hits. I need a 5 to wound, and I don't wound. The one on the right, need a 5 to hit. I don't hit, and the last one I need a 5 to hit, and I don't hit. This commando is going to attack my witch, and he needs 3s to hit. No, he needs 5s to hit because he's wounded. He gets 2 hits, wounds on 4s. 2 wounds. I need 2 dodge saves, and I dodge once. It's not enough. I get a 6+ power from pain. I don't get it. I need a 2+ 2 or less to save the injury roll, and she's out of action. Oh. Next, this commando is going to attack my witch. He needs 3 to hit with 3 attacks. He gets 2 hits. He needs 4 to wound. He gets 1 wound that I'm going to save on a 4+, and I save it. The shooter boy on top is going to attack twice. He hits on 5s, and he doesn't hit. The last one is going to do the same thing. He hits on 4s. He doesn't hit. At the end of the phase, this is how the battlefield looks like. We're going to go into the morale phase, and for that I'm going to need to make saves with this, I'm going to start with the witches because they're next to each other. I'm going to start with the Sybarite. I have a leadership of 8 minus 5 of my models that are out of action. I get a +2 for each one of the witches that are beside me, so I get at the end I have a leadership of 5. So anything but a 6 will shake her. She's fine. This one, she has a leadership of 7. +1 minus 5, that's a -4. I need a 3 or less, and she's fine. The other one, she needs a 4 or less because she has a 2 within 2 inches that are not shaken, and she is shaken. The last witch has a -6 because she is beside a model that is shaken, so I need a 1, only a 1. And she is fine. Last one is my sniper. He needs a 1 as well because he has a -5 because they're out of action, and one of them is shaken, so it's -6. To his 7, he needs a 1. He is shaken. So at this point, 3 of the models of the Orks are out of action, and we have 4 flesh wounds. 4 flesh wounded models, so that's a total of 7. That's more than half. We're going to need Tony's going to need to do a leadership test to see if his leadership is broken. He needs a 7 or less because of the knob, so he's fine. We're going to start with this shooter that has a leadership of 6, -3, but +2 because he has 2 models that are not shaken besides him, so he needs anything but a 6. He is shaken. We're going to continue with this commander right here. He needs a -2 because he has a 6, -3 that are out of action, but +2 because 2 models are beside him that are not shaken. So he needs and he is shaken. This commando needs a 2 because he has 3 models that are out of action. He's beside a model that is not shaken, but 2 other models are shaken, so he has a -4, and he needs a 1 or 2, and he's shaken. And the last shooter boy, he needs to make a nerve test as well. He needs a 1 to pass it, and he is shaken as well. At the end of turn 3, this is how the battlefield looks like. We just have a big melee in the middle. I have 2 shaken models. I have my Salad shaken and my Sniper shaken. I only have 3 viable models, and we are all stuck in close combat. Tony has 2 boys with big shooter and regular shooter. He has 4 models that are shaken, so he only has 5 viable models, and he needs to destroy as many objectives as he can. He was going to try and destroy this one right here, but both of his models were shaken at the end of the morale phase, so they are not controlling the objective. It's only 1 against 2, so he doesn't get to destroy any objectives this turn. And we're going to move on to turn 4. Okay, so we're going to roll for initiative again. I got a 5 and you got a 6. This time you start. Okay, starting with the Orcs movement phase. He's going to try to assault first with the shooter boy right here. He's going to try to assault at those witches right there. This dude first, he needs a 7. He doesn't get it, but here we go. He's going to re-roll that, and he gets it. This guy also needs a 7 to get in here in combat with this witch. He gets it. So that's the end of the movement phase. No one else can move unless they want to fall back, but we don't want to. We're going to move into the shooting phase, and we're going to shoot with the Sluggas. We're going to start with this one right here, the one at the bottom. He needs a 5+, and he doesn't get it. It's my turn to shoot back. I'm going to pick the witch on the top. She's going to shoot at this healthy orc right here. She has a -1 because she's wounded. She needs a 4+ to hit, and she doesn't hit. I have command points, and I might as well use it before I get butchered. I need a 4+, and I don't get it. Next, I'm going to shoot with this my Sybarite. She's going to shoot her blast pistol onto this guy right here. She needs a 3+. She hits. She needs a 2+, and she wounds, and that's going to be no saves for him because it's a -4 AP, damage 5, so he needs to roll 5 dice and get 3 or less on all of them. And he almost made it with a 6. He's out of action. This witch right here gets to also shoot. She's going to shoot at this boy right here, the commando. She needs a 5+ to hit because she's wounded twice, so she gets it. She needs a 4+ to wound because it's a poison weapon. She wounds. You get a 5+ t-shirt save, 6+. I mean, you don't make it, so you need to make a roll on the wound table with 3 or less, and he is out of action unless you want to re-roll that. Okay, here's the reroll. Come on! He makes it. So he gets a flesh wound. We're going to start the fight phase with this guy right here. He's going to attack his 3 attacks. He is healthy. He gets 2 attacks, pardon me, because he has he's a shooter boy. He hits on 3s. He hits 1s, wounds on 4s, and he doesn't wound. The other boy on top, the one with the big shooter, he's going to do the same thing. He needs 3s to hit and 4s to wound. He gets no wounds. Now it's Tony's initiative to attack with the boss knob to this witch right here. He gets 4 attacks that hit on 3s. He hits 3 times. He wounds on a 3 as well because he is strength 5. He wounds 3 times. I need 3 4+ saves, and I get 2 of them. I get 1 power from pain, and I don't make it, so I need to roll on the injury table. So I need a 1 or 2, and that's it. And she is wounded. So the only one left to attack is this witch right here. She's going to split her attacks with those 2 boys. She's going to get 2 attacks against the commando and 1 attack against the one on top. I'm going to start with the one on top. I need 5s to hit because she's wounded twice. She doesn't hit. For the commando, she needs 5 or 5+. She wounds once. She hits once, and she's going to wound on a 5, and she doesn't wound. The commando is going to attack back at my witch. He gets 3 attacks that hit on 4s. He gets 1 hit. He wounds on 4s, and he doesn't wound. Okay, so doing the nerf tests for all of my Drukhari kill team, I'm going to start with this Cyberite right here. Is going to be the first one. I get a -5, but I have a +3, so it's only -2 from my 8. She auto passes, so she's fine. The one below her, she has a +3, but a -5 is also a -2. She's a 7. She passes in everything but 6s, so she passes with a 1. The one on top, she is a 7, -5 +2. That's a 4, so I need a 4 or less. I get a 3, so I pass. The witch on the bottom, she gets a +1, a -5, so that's a 4. She passes on 4 or less. I got a 3, so she's fine. The last one is the sniper specialist. He gets to do a -5 with a reroll. That's a 7 -5, that's a 2. He needs a 2 or less, and he passes with a 1. Alright, for the orcs, we're going to roll for the leadership test. He's going to roll with his boss knob that has a leadership of 7. He needs a 7 or less, and he fails his leadership test. So his morale is broken. Alright, so we're going to start the nerf test for the boss knob, and he has a leadership of 7. 4 of them are out of action, and he has 4 buddies around him within 2 inches, so he is at 0 modifier. He has the leadership of 7, so he auto pass. The ones behind him, this boy on the back is going to do the nerf test next. He gets a -4 as well, but because he's besides 4 of his buddies, he auto passes because his leadership is 6. And then we're going to move on to this guy right here. He has a -4 +3. He is at -1, so he passes on 5 or less. So he passes. This guy, the big shooter, he needs a he auto passes because he has 4 buddies around him, and he has a -4. He has a leadership of 6, so he passes. This boy right here on the bottom, he has a minus
4.
He has a -4, but +3. He passes on 5 or less, so he passes. This boy right here has a -4, but +2 because he has 2 bodies within 2 inches, so he is at 4 or less. He doesn't pass. He is shaken. The last one has a -5. He has no bodies around him, so he needs a 1, and he doesn't pass. All right, so this is the recap of turn 4. Most of the models are in the middle in a melee, and I am in a pretty good position because most of my models are not shaken anymore. And the Orks only have 2 models that are shaken. At the end of the turn, he destroyed the last. At the end of the turn, he destroyed the objective number 5, I think it was, and he has 2 points for destroying 2 of them, and 3 points, 2 for destroying my 2 of my specialists, and 1 for destroying my morale, and because my morale is broken. So he has 5 to my 4 objectives, which is 8 points in total at the end of the game. We're going to see if the game continues. We're going to roll to see if this game continues. On a 3+, it continues. It continues. All right, so starting turn 5, we're going to roll up for initiative. I get a 10, so I start. Okay, so at the beginning of the movement phase, we both have 2 command points because Tony has 1 from his past turn, and he gets 1 on this next turn. He's going to try to do decisive move with a command point, and I'm going to allow it. He's going to try to get away from the combat, and he's going to try to move his not boss again away from my witch. He needs to roll on no escape because I have that rule. He needs to beat me on a roll off. Well, I got a 6. We both have a 6. We need to do that again. I got a 2, so he beats me. He can move. He can move now. He's going to advance, so he gets plus d6 movement, which is a 5 plus 2. That's a 7. Oh, okay. Because he's a scout, he can re-roll that. He gets a 5 plus 5, he gets a 10. Now it's my turn to move all of my Drukhari. I'm going to start with moving this sniper to the very edge here so that I can shoot at his boss knob. I'm going to declare a charge into a multi-charge with my zealot to these 2 guys here. So I only need a 2, so it's just a formality to roll. And I'm going to move her over here. My leader specialist, my Cyberite, is going to try to charge these 3 guys, putting herself here. Tony is going to Overwatch. He gets 3 dice, 3 attacks with the big shooter, which hit on 6s. He doesn't hit, and 1 attack with the commando, which doesn't hit. I'm going to need a distance of 5 to get around that pillar and go into this combat right here. I'm going to pass through the booby trap terrain. So I need a 5 with rerolls. I reroll that. That's a 4. And I get a 12. It's going to move just in there. And she's going to trigger a trap. You need to roll a 1 to make a mortal wound. And you don't get it. Moving into the shooting phase, my sniper is going to shoot at his knob. He's going to use his ability to get a +1 to hit because he moved with a heavy weapon. He now would hit on 4s, but because he has a +1 and rerolling 1s, he hits on 3s, rerolling 1s. He gets a 2. I can reroll that because I haven't used any command points. I'm going to reroll that and burning both of my command points by now. And I hit. I need a 2 plus 2 wound. If I get a 1, that sucks. No, I wound. He gets a -4 to his armor save, which is no armor save. Damage, I get a 5. Okay, so you need 3 or less on 5 dice on all of them, and I'm going to pick the worst one to see if it's out of action. And you fail it with a 6. So Tony decided to use just a flesh wound from the Orks. That's an Ork tactic that allows him to roll a dice. On a 4+, he gets to just get a flesh wound instead of being removed from play. and he doesn't pass it, so he's removed from play. He's out of action. It's turn for Tony to shoot with one of his commandos. He's going to shoot at my Cyberite leader. He needs a 6+, and he doesn't get it. I get to shoot back with my Cyberite and her blast pistol. I'm going to shoot at the other commando, so he doesn't shoot back. She needs a 3+. She's not wounded. She hits. She wounds on a 2. She doesn't wound. The other commando is going to shoot at this witch right here. He needs a 5+. No, a 6+, because he's wounded, so he doesn't hit. I'm going to shoot with this witch at this boy right here. I need a 5+. 5+ to hit because she's wounded twice. She hits. She wounds on a 4. She wounds. You get a t-shirt save. You miss it. So you need to roll on the injury table. And he's out of action. The rest of the models are shaken, and we're going to move into the combat phase of this turn. I'm going to start with the ones that charged. I'm going to start with my Zealot. That's going to attack this one right here. She gets 4 attacks because she charged. She has 2 base plus 1 because of the weapon plus 1 because she's a Zealot. Plus 1 attack and plus 1 strength. She hits on a... she's wounded once, but she has a +1 to hit because of power from pain. She needs a 3+ to hit. She hits 3 times, and she needs 4+ to wound because she has a +1 strength. Oh, I needed to reroll that one that I failed, right? And it hits, wounds on a 4, that misses, and he's 2 wounds. He gets no save. He has to roll on the injury table with a -2.
Just once, right?
Just one. Just on a 1 he survives, so he's out of action. My Cyberite is going to attack twice. She's going to attack at both the commandos. She's going to attack the one on the top first. She gets +1 to hit because power from pain. She hits on a 2+. She gets a 4. And she wounds on a 4+ because she has a Neganizer, that is a poison weapon. And she wounds the one on top, -2 AP. -2 AP, so he doesn't hit a save. He has to roll a 1 or he is out of action. So he's still on it because he has now 3 flesh wounds. My other attack is going to go against the other commando, and I need a 2+ to hit, and I miss. This witch right here is going to attack to this boy. She gets a -2 to hit because she's wounded twice, but +1 because of power from pain. She gets 3 attacks, so she hits on 4s. I get 2 hits. She wounds on 5s because she's only strength 3. I get 1. So you need a t-shirt save, which you don't pass, and you need to roll with a -1 on the injury table, so 1 or 2. And he's out of action. The commando is going to attack my Cyberite back. He has 3 attacks that hit on... He only hits on 6s. He doesn't hit. This witch here is going to attack this boy right here. She gets -2 because she is wounded twice, but she has a +1 because of power from pain. She hits on a 4+, and she doesn't hit any. The shooter boy is going to attack the Cyberite. He gets 2 attacks that hit on 3s. He gets 1 hit. He wounds on 3s because she's not a witch. So I get a wounded. I get a 5+, Cavalite warrior save, and then a 6+ power from pain. And I don't get it. I'm going to roll on the injury table, and I hope I don't die. She's out of action. Ooh. At the end of the phase, this one is going to consolidate here because she has to move to the closest model. If you want to consolidate, you can move your models closer to this witch. If you don't want to, you can keep them there, I think. He's going to stay there. So that's it. This is the end of turn 5. We're going to do the morale phase for this turn. I'm going to start with my Drukhari. And I'm going to start with one of the witches. I get a -6, and I have a leadership of 7, but +1 is a 5. I only pass on 1 or 2s, but I get rerolls because we have power from pain. So I need a 1 or 2 with rerolls with this witch first. I need a 1 or 2. I don't get it with reroll. I got it. First one's fine. This one right here is gonna do the same thing. 1 or 2, she's fine. This one right here only passes at once, so she needs a 1 with reroll. She gets a 2 and a 3, so she is shaken. This one right here is going to as well only pass on a 1 with rerolls because of power from pain. I get a 6, so I don't pass. Then another 6, so he's shaken. The Orc's morale is broken as well, so he has a -9 to his leadership. He's going to either way need a 1 on all of them. He doesn't get rerolls, so we're going to do Commando. He is shaken. The one on top, he is shaken as well with a 6, and the last one is going to be shaken. So all of them are shaken, and that's it. That's turn 5. So this is the end of turn 5. The tables have turned. The Drukhari have the upper hand, and we're going to see if the turn continues. We have you have 2 points because of the objectives, and you've destroyed 3 of my specialists. So that's a 5 plus 1 because you broke my morale. That's a 6 against 4 objectives that I'm still defending. That's an 8. We have 6. Against 8. We're going to see if the game continues on a roll of a 4+. Can you do the honors, my friend? So the game continues with a 6. Just one more turn. Okay, so we decided to end the game there because all of the orcs are shaken, so they can't really do anything but get hit by witches. Maybe not die, but I'm going to attack them a bunch, and after that the game is over anyway. So the final score is 5-8. This is a victory for the Drukhari. This was a very intense battle, and it flipped over from the start. I thought I was going to lose, but it was a pretty fun game. It was a very it was very heartbreaking to see the Orcs with such an advantage at the beginning. They were going to win, and then everything just flipped over. It was a fun game nonetheless. So thank you very much, Tony, for coming and playing with me. And that's it. So that's it. This is a Drukhari victory. This was a pretty fun game. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm signing off. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions or you catch any mistakes, please let me know in the comment section below. That's only going to help me make better battle reports in the future. And if you want, you can check out my Facebook page or anything where you can find me. Please follow me and like this video, comment on it, and subscribe to the channel to see more videos. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching.
You stayed. Great. Thank you very much for supporting my channel, and if you would like to become a patron, there is a link to my Patreon page in the description below. Your contributions help pay for my work and keeps the channel going. A single $1 a month is more than enough, and you can cancel at any time. If you can't, don't worry, you can support my channel by simply watching my videos and sharing them with your friends. Thank you for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.